my dear Libra, this is your love and spirituality reading for the month of December 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. We are soon entering into Sagittarius season, so wish all Sagittarius out there a happy birthday. And I hope you have had a lovely November. I myself have had time to recuperate and have some days off, and I've been able to both rest and get a lot of things done that was falling behind. Also catching up with the client readings. So if you want a personal reading with me, you can go to my website www.queenofcupstarot.se and check out the process. So I read for the signs in order of most liked videos. So hit the thumbs up button for your sign, and you can see the order I read in this time around at the community section of my channel. And thank you all for liking, watching, commenting, donating and subscribing to my channel. I am super grateful for all of your appreciation. This is a general reading for Sun, Moon and Rising sign. For some people that watch this, the story I read in can be in reversed. Then you're just the same. You're all part of the whole, the drama that you personally are in, but it can be different castings to the different roles by the universe. For this reading, I will use the Druid Craft Tarot by Philip and Stephanie Cargom, illustrated by Will Worthington, and I will start shuffling your cards. So my dear Libra, see what's going on with you here. So when I open your deck here, I see Five of Pentacles and the Strength card. So Five of Pentacles is a feeling of being left out in the cold, and the Strength card is connected to Leo. So I'm thinking maybe someone wants to someone has disregarded you or put you out in the cold, but you have been strong enough to deal with it. Or even more accurate for many of you would be that you needed to put someone else out in the cold. You needed to be strong, to stand up for yourself, be stubborn. You didn't want to fight anymore, but you didn't want to be treated disrespectfully either. Okay. So I call the divine with love and light. And here we see the Ten of Swords with the Strength card. So it might be that someone has hurt you real bad. It feels like backstabbing, like someone has really made a number on you, or you were forced to do this towards someone else to kind of end something. It might be ending of a relationship, ending of a career, ending of a long friendship. And we see here this person is done for, and this person has put down their arms. So the battle is done. Whatever happened here, it's over. Okay, Ten of Swords is the minor arcana death card. But here you still stand strong. You still stand with your both feet on the ground, and having your self-respect back, I would presume. Okay, so I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world, and here we see the Ace of Pentacles together with the Strength card. So Ace of Pentacles is some kind of new chance. So by sweeping away of the old, no longer tolerating disrespect, you have actually created a new beginning for you. We have the wild boar here. It's a very stubborn animal, and it also can run through fences and everything without even getting hurt, very rough skinned. And we also have a kind of a bear mother there. I think through it all you have been taking yourself with flying colors. Okay, so it was rough, it wasn't nice, it wasn't pleasant at all. But you actually regained more strength with whatever you went through. So I call the six elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading. We have two children here for my dear Libra viewers. So I want my dear Libras to have love in their lives and to find yourself in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So my dear Libras, the reading is shuffled. Okay, so I will just tune in for a few seconds to you and this reading in the time of December. So my dear Libras, here is your future. This is your now, and this is your past. And in the past we have this, the moon, the dreadful thing, whatever happened. Might have been people lying to you, being backstabbing. Maybe some kind of secret was revealed that was very hurtful. Something that someone had held back, a secret that they have kept from you. Sometimes people keep secrets from you for the reason so that they can keep on manipulating you. If you don't know the truth, what are the real agenda, or what the full story is, they can trick you into staying calm and, you know, staying available, for example. This is what I feel here. But with the moon card, you probably dared to go where people usually don't dare to go. So you sought out the truth because you felt brave enough and grown up enough to be able to take whatever the truth we're holding. So sometimes we can also let ourselves be fooled because we don't want to hear the truth. We rather want to lie. I actually hear a song here. It's with a Swedish group. It's old. It's Fool Me, and Love Me. I will put it in the description box. See here. So I wrote it down. I made a little notes. I will remember, and I will put it in the description box for you. So I'm thinking this was the previous state where you kind of wanted to go on being fooled. You didn't want to know the truth, but eventually the truth came out. So for some of you, it will be in the reverse, that you were the one being exposed. It can be like that as well. Okay. So, and this is in the now, and we have a Prince of Cups. So it might be that this person that had this secret from you, degraded you with the Five of Pentacles, and backstabbed you with the Ten of Swords, have now, they have seen something that they didn't see before. Okay, so sometimes people hurt not only others with their lies, but actually also themselves. They are putting themselves in a very bad position. If you are breaking someone's trust, that might be the last thing you do with that person. They might never want to deal with you again. And that might have been some kind of crude awakening for someone that makes them want to fix it. Okay, they want to fix it again. They want to make amends, make things better, come with a better offer, tell you that they're sorry. It's very usual. We can see this with abusers and addicts. They do something really stupid. People can even be abusive towards their partner, their husband or their wife, and then they promise they will never do it again. So it's kind of this, what I'm seeing here, someone coming and saying, I will never do it again. And it's very sweet when it happens. It feels great. We want them to come to this and fix everything, because we don't like when there is disharmony. But question is, can you trust in their offer? Can you trust that they are really sorry, or do they just don't want to take the consequences of their own action? That's the question here. So I'm trying to focus, but I hear some other song, and it's a song that comes through a lot. It's Frey, How to Save a Life. So I'm thinking it might have some value for some of you, so I will put it in the description box as well. Okay, and here is your future. So it's a Princess of Swords, sorry, and so I'm thinking this person that wants to come and say that they're sorry, they are a little bit like a child. Okay, they don't they don't know everything about themselves and about you and about life and about love and everything, and they might believe their own words because they are a little bit beginner. They might feel very enthusiastic and I can really fix it this time, and they want to fix it, and it's not saying that they won't be able to do so. I haven't looked that far just yet, but the Princess of Swords is a very young energy, so it's from what I'm feeling here, it's a beginner, someone that is not used to speaking the truth. It is not used to revealing the truth. Maybe if this is you, it can be you as well. You need to be able to determine if this offer is true or not. And it might be that you are a beginner in that. Before you would have trusted them and you would have say, yes, okay, we come back into this beautiful love relationship again, and you can fool me once again, and we live happily until that day. That might be even tomorrow. So, but now you need to be a little bit more sharp, and it might be that you don't have so much experience in actually leaning towards what you know is to be true instead of what you hope is going to be true. So there's a sharpness here, and it can be used to determine this situation, but it has a lack of experience, so it's a beginner's try. So it doesn't, if you are not able to see through the lies, don't accuse yourself for this, because sometimes we need some practice. So a person can need to fool you some more times before you really get it, okay? So try to not be too hard on yourself if you're not able to see through this person's the dream scenario they are trying to paint for you. Okay. So here in the past we have the Eight of Cups, and it's a natural reaction towards the treatment that you were getting, the being shunted out or disrespected, or a person didn't love you so much, or they didn't appreciate your work, or they took you for granted, or whatever happened. And the following 10 of Swords, where you maybe confronted them with this, well, it seems like you don't respect me. No, I don't. So this is the natural reaction towards that. Okay, so it was the truth, the thing that I suspected, so I take the consequences of that and I leave. So I am disappointed in this, the dream that I had, because it didn't pan out in the way I wanted, and now I'm going to seek out something better for myself that probably doesn't include that person or that kind of situation. You want to do something that's new, and you are kind of sick and tired of energy vampires stealing your time, stealing your attention, stealing your love, stealing your, whatever, okay? Ideas, it can be your ideas as well, a lot of different things. So, natural reaction there with 8 of Cups. And here we have a 4 of Pentacles, so I'm feeling this is kind of never again. I will never trust this person again. From now on, I will be a fortress, and no one will be able to come to my fortress that doesn't deserve being there. So it's also a natural reaction. If we have been hurt, we might say, I will never love again, I will never trust that person again, I will never trust in women again, I will never trust in being companies again, whatever. So usually when 4 of Pentacles can be in this situation a moment where we kind of write a little bit of a soul contract, because when we all the time when we say I will never, or I will never ever, or this, I won't allow this ever again, it kind of, it's like writing on your nose that you want this to happen again, because it seems like an issue you haven't really been dealing with and you're a little bit bitter. So it's probably going to happen again until it kind of doesn't touch you anymore and you just turn away from it without so much drama or bitterness. Everything that holds a big amount of energy will always draw that kind of situation towards you. So if you're freakishly scared for something, for example, spiders, you will probably see spiders everywhere. If you are very bitter towards someone, you will have more reasons to be bitter towards that person. More proof will come. If you say that I will never do this, you will probably be confronted with a situation like that, and you will have to repeat that. No, I don't want to. I know I don't want to. No, I don't want to. But as soon as the energy, the charge of the energy in that inside of you for that situation is declining, and you start to not bother anymore, it's also when the karma will go away. It's not affecting you anymore. You are not wounded anymore, so there's nothing more to excavate or hurt or heal or whatever. So at that point, when you kind of don't care, you feel strong, you feel confident, you are not bitter, you are not angry, you're not revengeful, then these kind of old energy kind of dies out and loses their purpose, and the soul contract ends. But for now it's on, okay? But it's natural. This is very, very natural. And here we have Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands might be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, or any kind of person holding this kind of energy. It's much like the Strength card that we just saw. So I'm thinking this is you, most likely, that have got sick and tired of being used by other people, putting up a fortress around yourself and being ready for a fight if they ever try to come near that the fortress. So we have a little bit of fire burning here. I'm thinking angry revenge, but she is kind of cool. We can see this on her face expression, but maybe the cat is revealing your real temper at this moment, how you really feel. A little bit suspicious to say the least. Okay, but you're ready to defend yourself, and that was what this situation wanted to teach you in the first place. So this with wanting to be fooled just to get moments of love or happiness or recognition that was in the bottom false, was putting you in the situation where you had to be strong like this and say no, because in other case you would have continued living in that illusion. Now you have built up a little bit of charge of bitterness or revenge instead. So probably the situation will not, it hasn't ended with this. It's more that needed to be sorted out, more anxious feeling, dramatic feeling, or otherwise charged situations. But you have reached a part goal, and that part goal was to say no to being taken for granted or being backstabbed. So far so good. Yes, good work. Okay. And this is the now. So in the now we have the Six of Wands. So Six of Wands might be someone that still wants your attention. Okay, someone still wants your attention. It can be an attention-seeking person. It's usually like this. It's the dynamics also. When a person walks away like this, they leave an empty space. So it might be that some other wants to follow and fix the situation, make win-win situation. It's the Six of Wands, so it definitely wants love, but it can be a little bit selfish energy. It's Leo in Jupiter, so again you have a lot of fire energy. So many of you might be dealing with a fire person. Six of Wands in this situation, it can be you actually winning this. Also, it doesn't have to be another person seeking attention. It can be you actually winning this and feeling taking on a leader role, and no longer letting other people top ride you or disrespect you. So you have taken on another attitude. So I'm seeing many different scenarios, and one doesn't exclude the other. It can be all of these things, because the world is bigger and smaller cycles, bigger and smaller smaller dramas, and everything contains everything else. It's very complex, and it's very beautiful. So Six of Wands, the most I feel is that there is a longing, even maybe if you have walked away, you feel a longing to reconnect, maybe as equals this time, but you are not going to humble yourself in any way, or or beg for mercy. It's more maybe you want to show that person that you have no grudges. Maybe there's a little bit time has floated by here. First you were angry, and now you just wants to be friend, or just maybe have some kind of closure, or put the situation to rest, or talk things through, or it's some kind of equaling out. But it might also be a person chasing after you and want your attention. Five of Pentacles, yes, and in that case that person is now feeling left out in the cold, exactly in the way that you did once, when you were maybe seeing this situation or this relationship as the more important thing to focus on, while the other person maybe took it more for granted, or took your work for granted. And now this person instead feels the way you did. So I think point has been taken. You have made your voice heard by these very strong actions, where you didn't let people hurt you anymore, or you put an end to a codependent or destructive situation. Maybe where you, one scenario I'm seeing for a career can be you having a lot of great ideas, and a person in a other position then you might be taking those ideas as their own. That can be one thing. But also this typical relationship thing where one person might feel like they don't love their partner as much as their partner loves them. But when that partner is gone, there's another story. Okay, and here we have the Queen of Swords. So Queen of Swords is Libra, and we have worked a lot to take in other people's energy. So it might be that the person that you were previously with have learned more about your energy, and you have learned more about their energy. So if there was a fire air kind of constellation, you have learned to be more like in your own self-respect. And it might be that the person that you're with has learned more about justice. And it can also be like this, that the person have learned more about scrutiny and judgment, and you might have learned more about being enthusiastic and passionate and put more effort into a love relationship. I see many different options here. Libra are a sign of these scales. So you kind of like Gemini contain two different roads that can be chosen. You want to have equilibrium, you want to have balance, but that might make you two-faced in some way. That doesn't have to be negative. It's just that you want to keep balance and keep diplomacy, keeping friendship, keeping things in a certain order. So one Libra might have chosen one road, and another Libra might have chosen another road to reach to the same balance point. So therefore there's a little bit tricky right now, because I'm seeing two scenarios. One where you might have been lying towards someone and they don't take your crap anymore, and now you are the one that feels lonely. And one where it's the other way around, and you have kind of learned from each other. One has learned from the other. So if your partner was in a certain way that kind of irritated you, now you have learned that personality trait. You can also use that tool now and irritate other with it, probably. Okay, so, and it's not about irritating people, but usually when we really hate something with another person, it's bother us a great deal. It's something that we ourselves needs to learn. If you think that a person is super lazy, we probably need to become more relaxed. If you think that a person is super judgmental, we probably need to become a little bit more judgmental ourselves. If we think they are too squishy, dramatic, passionate, full of tears, we probably need to open up the well to our emotions. So that is what I'm trying to say here. In this scenario, what we can also see is here maybe water or a fire person that feels left out in the cold is trying to approach a Libra that is not going to have it. Okay, you see eyes closed, back turned. but these two girls, it can be the same, it can be you both, okay? These two energies that you have mastered, you are still you are still the same kind of capacity that you have before, but you have also learned another skill. And maybe that is the skill of actually being pissed, or having enough, or saying enough is enough to your parents or your friends or your co-workers, instead of just trying to keep diplomacy. So learning to not be scared of your own strength, but actually using it. And for some of you, it might have been like being taken over by a devil on your shoulder, suddenly saying things that the previous Libra wouldn't have dreamt of, and suddenly telling to that aunt on the party that what you really think about her behavior towards you, for example. And that might have shocked both yourself and this person, but it was actually your soul that was taken over and telling that you don't want to be treated in this disrespecting way. And that was a good thing. It felt like something naughty that you did, but it was actually something that maybe your spirit guides have waited a long time for you to do, to finally not be the victim to other people's rudeness or problem with taking in consideration your unique individual needs, and to doing so, to actually saying, okay, so this is who I am, this is what I can tolerate, and this is what I can't tolerate. Okay. So, and here we have the Death card. So the Death card comes underneath the 8 of Cups and 6 of Wands. So it's a big transformation. It's kind of what I said here. If you have been turning your back towards someone, you left an empty space for them to follow you. So if you have been dealing with someone that's a little bit all about themselves and look at me and give me attention and fulfill my needs, that person might now have gone through a very big transformation and changed because of this empty space that you left behind. They were forced to see themselves and go through a transformation. It might also mean that they see the attempt of saying to you that they are sorry or trying to reconcile is as futile. So they might give up on the relationship at this point. This is also Scorpio, and here you have the fire. So fire and water, very passionate, passionately feeling, maybe feelings of revenge or feelings of enough is enough. That can be it as well. So next card here is 3 of Wands, and that is kind of the opposite. So we see here the Moon, 6 of Wands, 3 of Wands. So there's someone in this equation. It might be more than two people. It can be a lot of people, but one person in this equation that might have been a little bit miser before. They were maybe prideful, didn't want to share their resources, their time, their laughter, their hugs, their love towards you. But now they have tasted some of their own medicine and being excluded because of this behavior. It's a bad behavior that gives consequences. And here they still have the kind of the want to fix it, and it's a very strong want. The 3 of Wands is an energy that doesn't easily go away. It's very set on a certain goal. Yeah, okay. So I'm hearing some song that I heard yesterday, maybe for Cancer reading. I got my mind set on you. So some might be like that, mindset. Yes, okay. I will put that song also in the description box. So it's like one person here can't really accept that the situation is over and still wants to in some way reach out or have contact or continue to discussing the project plans that was crashing down somewhere here. In the past, like way past, several months ago or even years ago. The the Moon, 6 of Wands, 3 of Wands, it's maybe this person haven't really understood the full consequence of this. They have a strong belief in themselves and their own capacity of like being a leader, for example, or fixing things. It sounds like typical fire sign, a person that can take any problem and just fix it. So this might either be you that have learned this kind of quality, or it might be someone that has they maybe always been like this. They think they can maybe string you along and fool you, and maybe even be unfaithful, or steal your ideas and all these kind of things. And they still have this very enthusiastic feeling that they can fix it with just doing like so. So it makes me think about a little bit about people with narcissistic tendencies, okay, being a little bit too full of themselves without saying too much, okay. And here we have the Fool. So it might be a person that not have narcissistic tendencies, even though the Fool doesn't say that that's not the case. It can also be a person being very enthusiastic and thinking maybe they have finally seen things your way and wants to fix it. They have a lot of hope of fixing it. Another scenario would be that you leave this situation totally behind you. If I read it, if we pretend like this situation that you're with, it's off. With the Death card, it's totally off. You don't want to go back to feeling in that way ever again. So that's not an option. For some of you, it will be like this. And then you are set on a very beautiful new future, like something that you have chosen, something totally new that doesn't include old stupid relationship or old stupid bosses or old stupid careers that didn't lead to anything. So we see this with the Page of Swords and the Fool card, these two children here, and the Three of Wands. The tree is connected to the Empress, so it's about fertile businesses. The Empress is nature. Nature is the basic for economy. So it might be a successful partnership or something else that we put our mind on, and this is what's going to carry us into the future. But this might be some kind of brain trust here, people that belongs together and can make a beautiful new start with whatever kind of endeavor they are into. So it doesn't have to be like a romantic partner. It can be a sister, a friend. This can be two males, but using their feminine side to reach forward. So feminine side means maybe not being scared about your emotion, but actually using them to invest in fertile projects. So these two seems to have a very beautiful connection and be able to walk into the future together, and it can be like some kind of new beginning for these two. But the only thing that might be a little bit problematic for that new beginning to happen is these girls. You can see that this one is totally having their back towards that person, and that person isn't looking in that person's direction either. So I don't fully understand the situation with these cards, because they indicate that you and someone that you have a great relationship with, or could have a great relationship with, has a beautiful happy future with some new endeavor, some new project. Maybe if you have had a fallout, maybe with a sibling or a friend, maybe it's time to fix that relationship. Okay, maybe it's time to start over and forget. It might have been like some kind of third party involved, someone that might have made a crack between you two. So maybe it was a third party that destroyed your relationship somehow. Maybe being in love with the same person, or one person's friend saying that girl or that boy is not someone that you should involve with because that's a bad person. But that was in that case probably wrong. Okay, So I'm going to choose to read a card, and the Five of Pentacles seems to be very central. People feels left out in the cold. They feel disregarded, disrespected, not valued, not loved enough. Maybe being used and abused. Maybe not someone, as I said, stole their ideas or didn't show them appreciation enough for the work that they have done. So with this in this book, this meaning of this card is somewhat different, so it might help you to see a total other situation which you haven't heard up till now. Okay, so keep your mind totally open here. 5 signifies change and often suffering or loss. Pentacles signify the material world, so that will indicate material loss or feeling. Material loss can also be loss of dignity or losing your face or someone degrading you. Finding this card in a reading may therefore indicate the possibility of material hardship or a crisis, but caution is needed into making this interpretation. The earliest tarot commentaries stated that this card represents a spouse or a lover. This may refer to the way in which our material world often changes when we enter into a deep relationship. We may let go of our preoccupations with money, be tempted to act extravagantly, thereby incurring loss, or our material circumstances may radically change. Divorce usually necessitates a major recognition of our finances. Reorganization of our finances and can involve financial loss. The process of breaking down or loss is necessary as the process of building up or gain, and this idea is conveyed in the alchemy in the process of solve et coagula, dissolution and coagulation. So, we can put some material in water and wave around a little bit, and it will dissolve in that water. But also it can calcify, for example, calcium can calcify from water and build rock again. So that is dissolution and coagulation. As we look back on our lives, we can often trace periods of dissolution when either emotionally or materially our lives seem to unravel, resulting in a sense of falling apart and loss. But later we will have hopefully experienced a sense of coagulation or reforming, in which we feel ourselves coming back together, often with our material life rearranging itself in a different way around us. Only then do we realize the positive value in the period of dissolution. So if you have felt very like some force have been working against you when it comes to, for example, money or career, it might be because you are on the wrong path or have been on the wrong path. So the old path needs to die and dissolve so this new path can occur, okay, with this new fertile cooperation. Okay, so I'm going to take Oracle card from Mario Duguay, Oracle of Angels. See what's going on with my dear Libras. So, Oracle of Angels for Libra. And we have inner calling. The dissolution might leading you to be free for this inner calling. What's really is your destiny, instead of maybe what you thought were your destiny, or for some of you it might have been that you wanted to have like a certain title or a certain recognition, but the destiny that you have might be more modest. We see this person being a little bit more lightly equipped than this kind of warrior leader or king. So you might have wanted a career that was a career seen very highly from the eyes of society, but maybe that is not what's going to make you happy. It might be something that's a little bit more spiritual, a little bit more down to earth, a little bit more adventurous, maybe things that where you don't get as much money, but you have more free time, or you don't get so much recognition, but you're able to help a lot of people or help them also liberate themselves. So where were I? You can choose to see your biggest challenges as your best opportunities for inner change and growth. The trials and ordeals we experience in life are actually necessary for our soul's evolution. Take a moment to reflect back on the past difficulties and identify how those experiences have made you stronger and wiser. Now turn your attention to the present and remind yourself to take the drama out of your challenges and try to see how they are serving you. I choose to see challenges as ideal opportunities to work on my inner self. I look for the blessings in all situations, past and present. I am connected to the positive aspect of my experience. So, this looks very beautiful. We can see this path here, and we can see also this path here, and this person is on a walkabout. So you're definitely on your way somewhere. Because of whatever challenge you have been through, you have kind of regrouped and resettled and are now ready for this beautiful new beginning of yours. Okay. So also going to take a card from Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection by Mike Dooley. So for my dear Libras, Notes from the Universe. So many coming up here, suggestions. I kind of just want one. Thank you. Okay. That you have options is meaningful. Rock on. If I could make just 2 wishes, I'd wish I could somehow convey to you the profound depths of my gratitude for every moment of your life. I'd also wish that you could somehow know of your unimaginable importance, just as you now are, to the lives of so very many. And of course, I'd wish for even more wishes. Oh shoot, you were such a good idea, universe. So don't fret, don't be anxious. You are good in all your simplicity. You might feel like you are not good enough, but whatever you most naturally are kind of programmed to give to the world is your greatest gift. So don't overdo things, or don't be too anxious about your future. It seems like you will be led on a very beautiful and straightforward way that actually is going to be very tuned with your soul's purpose. So I actually feel very drawn also to this card that were here. See me in their eyes. Whenever conferring with another, either face to face or across the miles, whether a human being, departed spirit, or sentient tree, always speak to them, the highest within them. It makes such a difference. Amen, the universe. Yeah, as if some trees weren't sentient. Glad you caught that. Okay, so it kind of means that how you approach a human being is very important. If you act like their opinion doesn't matter, and their lives doesn't matter, or their ideas doesn't matter, they are probably going to be reactive and dramatic, and there's going to be a conflict. But if you act like, even if you can't understand the other person and their dreams and their purpose, if you show that you respect them and you kind of let them be what they are, you will probably see a much different interaction. Okay, so that seems to be important. So even if you don't agree, you can agree to disagree. Okay, so my beautiful Libras, I hope this will help. I want to welcome you back to my January reading that will perform in the middle of December, and I also want to wish happy holidays to all of you out there. Okay, bye bye.